They have a lot of experience in using the travel tips that they're going to share with you tonight, so I know you're going to get a lot out of it. My name is Sam Fetcho, and I'm the technical producer for the webinar tonight. And I just want to point out to you a couple things on your screen. Over in to your right, you're going to see the control panel, which has a little tab for questions. And all of you guys are muted because there's going to be a lot of people on. So if you have questions as we go along, if you can type them in the questions pane, and then we'll have some natural breaks in the presentation, and we'll go ahead and answer those questions as we go. Um, and if there's nothing else, we'll go ahead and get started.
Thanks, Mom. Hi, everyone. I am Emily Barclay, and I am here with my husband, Rick.
Hello.
And we're really excited to be sharing some of our tips and tricks with you guys. So I'm sure that we have a lot of ringers, people who know us already, but this is us, Emily and Rick, and we are here just to share about all of our travels. I know we've generated a lot of interest in our session due to the things that we share on social media and on our blog. And that is why Kappa reached out to us to present this lifestyle learning webinar all about maximizing your miles. So as we were sitting there and we were trying to think about where this all came from, we realized it started with a set of patio furniture. We bought our first home in December of 2012. And when we first moved in, I really wanted to have some great patio furniture for the backyard, and so asked Rick to find a solution to my problem.
So we did some research, and this set here we found is around $1,400. And just buying a new home, that was not very affordable for us. So I did some research, and I found that by signing up for some credit cards, I could get gift cards to Amazon. So we signed up for some credit cards, we got the big bonuses, and then I got $1,000 worth of Amazon gift cards through these bonuses that we could then use so I could buy Emily here this patio set she wanted. So really, it only ended up costing $400 for this set. And that's what kind of started this whole idea where we realized that you can make money, and also where it moved to us is that we could start to travel.
So we've been using our miles and our points to our advantage, and we've really gotten to see a whole lot all across the world. So what started very small has turned into basically a world-sized opportunity for us. So some pictures from our trips here, starting at the top and going across. This is us in Thailand. We got to meet some elephants and do a day trip with them. We've been to Rome to see the Colosseum. We've been to Istanbul to see the Hagia Sophia and the Blue Mosque and the New Mosque. We've been to Pompeii. We've gotten to go to Paris and other spots in France, and we've also been to Cambodia to see the temples at Angkor Wat. So our plan for tonight, we're going to be talking about what we've been doing and a sneak peek of the latest trip that we've been on, not the one that's coming up, but the one that we just went on. And we're going to talk a little bit about how we do it. We're going to provide some information about credit cards that we like and what is available to you now. We'll also include some travel tips, some things that we offer for you guys to take advantage of, and then obviously plenty of opportunity for questions and answers. The latest trip that we went on was over Labor Day weekend. This past one in 2015, we went to New York City. Rick and I, when we got married, it was Labor Day weekend. Our anniversary September 1st. So we're really lucky that every year there's a long weekend where we can take a chance to celebrate and go on an adventure together. So we decided to go to New York City. We spent 3 nights there, and we went all over. Just checking out a bunch of different stuff and eating really, really well. That's always our goal when we go on a trip, is to eat delicious food and have a great time.
So looking at the numbers, to give you an example of what we're talking, on the left-hand side, you can see a projected cost. You know, Los Angeles to New York City on American would cost around $422 for both of us to get there. One night we stayed in the DoubleTree, $220. And then we actually stayed 2 nights at the Waldorf Astoria, which would have been $500. Then coming back New York to LA on Southwest would have cost around $360. So you're looking at, it should have costed us just over $1,500 for this Labor Day weekend trip. But if you know how to use miles to your advantage, you could see that for the flights, we used some American miles and Southwest points. And then you see that the Waldorf Astoria here was actually free. We earned 2 free nights on one of the Hilton sign-up cards, so we got to stay at this luxurious historic hotel for free, and the only thing we paid was for that one night in the DoubleTree. It comes out to $242 just through some taxes that you have to pay on the airlines, but really, it's a huge difference. So we're not traveling for free, but if you can see the cost that we spent, it was almost next to nothing for 3 nights in New York City.
So the purpose of this presentation is to just illustrate to you, we don't do it for free, but it's a really affordable way to travel. Lots of times people ask us, how do we do this? How do we go for 5 weeks at a time on teacher salaries? Well, we're really smart about our money, and we do it in an affordable way. Our presentation tonight is super basic, just the very tip of the iceberg. We're calling it like our freshman 101 level course, just kind of a survey to check it out. We're not really into the 300 level specific stuff yet.
So let's talk about what's a mile, what's a point, all right? Airlines offer miles, hotels and other companies offer points. So we make the joke that there is a card for that. Credit card companies offer substantial rewards to entice you to sign up for their products. Again, the more you use their card, they're going to make profit from you using it, so they entice you. You can find a credit card for airline miles, hotel points, travel points. The new ones coming out, there's cruise lines. If you want Disney tickets, you can have a card for that. AT&T just released a new credit card where you can get the new iPhone for a sign-up bonus. You can get cash back. You can get gift cards. And even recently, I've just seen this where you can get money to invest. So there is a card for every single need out there, no matter who you are.
So we're going to be talking about some of the cards that we like tonight. Just know that a lot of times it takes patience. We spend a lot of time watching what companies are offering us to make sure that we're getting the best offer possible. I'm sure Rick will even tell you that some of these offers that we're highlighting tonight, even though they are the current offer that's available, they're not necessarily the best one. So it takes some patience and it takes some persistence as you're tracking these things and what you're interested in.
All right, so just start. Again, freshman 101 here. Let's look at airline-specific cards, all right? And we're going to give you 3 basic airline-specific cards that are going to be domestic carriers, so it's a little bit easier to understand here on the first session. Here's one of the big ones. We've all heard of United, all right? Chase runs this card, and right now, if you sign up for the card and you're approved, you can earn 30,000 miles after you spend $1,000, and you have 3 months to hit that spending limit, okay? Now, honestly, I wouldn't sign up for this card today because 30,000 is actually not a great deal. They actually offer a 50,000 mile bonus quite often, about half of the year, so you do not want to sign up for this currently right now. But with this card, you also, people don't know about these perks. You get your first check bag for free, which, as you know now, can save you a ton of money if you have 2 to 3 flights. You get to board earlier, and they offer you 2 United Club passes. And when you see those really prestigious doors at the airport where you watch people relaxing, this card can actually get you in there where you can have a free drink, some free food, and some Wi-Fi that actually works. Now, what they ask is that the annual fee for this card is $95, but for the first year they waive it. So you can actually sign up for this card for free, spend $1,000, and you can get anywhere from 30 to 50,000 miles just like that. Super easy, all right? To kind of, for an example of what you're going to book, you want to use these miles. If you want to go within the 48 continental United States, it'll cost you $25,000. So even if you signed up right now, you could get 1 free round trip within the United States. But we're going to show some examples here too. If you want to go to Europe, it takes 60,000. Asia, 75 to 80, and then Africa, take around 80,000. If you want to do, you could do separate one-way awards. Again, within the country, it only costs you $12,500. So if you wait for that 50,000 mile bonus, you're on your way to a round trip to Europe, from any U.S. airport to almost any European airport. So it's a great deal. Same thing, if you're going to look at the American Airlines, Citi runs that, and it's the same thing. Right now it's 30,000 miles, spend $1,000 in 3 months. It's all kind of the same idea. This is their basic level card. But again, I would not go for this right now because you really want to wait for that 50,000 mile bonus. That's what you're really looking for. So again, same things. Free check bags for you and up to 4 people. You get to board earlier in the same $95 fee, but it's waived for that first year, which is great again. Here we go, 25,000 miles, domestic round trip. You see the same things, all right? The further you go, the more expensive it gets. But if you look at the double asterisks I put right here, this is why actually currently American is my favorite airline. Off-peak pricing. If you want to go somewhere and it's not the peak season to travel, they offer discounts using your miles. So this winter, actually, we are all going to Europe. And because it's really cold, and we're going to go to Poland and Russia and Finland, they actually knocked that 60,000 miles to Europe down to 40. So it's really, really inexpensive to get to Europe. Same thing with Asia and Africa. You can get those down to 50,000. So if you want to go off-peak time, you wait for that sign-up bonus, you have your round trip to Asia covered, and you just have to pay the taxes. It's essentially free. One I really wanted to cover here because Southwest is really popular. Right now they have their best sign-up bonus. I had to put this in here because it's 50,000 miles right now after you spend $2,000 in 3 months, right? Southwest already gives you free bags, so that's nice. But here's the thing that's different. The annual fee is not waived. Now, in the end of the day, 50,000 miles for $100 is a pretty good deal. You can get a lot of value out of those miles here. So you can just apply for Southwest, get approved, spend $2,000, and you can get a lot of travel. Look at the rates here. Their rates are based on distance and time of year. So if you want to go the first one, Los Angeles to New York, you can expect 20 to 35,000. But if you look at the next one, Los Angeles to Portland, Oregon, that should only cost around 12,000. So it depends on where you want to go, and you can be really strategic with your mileage usage on this one for Southwest. But I gotta say this is why Southwest is my favorite thing, and most people cannot believe me when I explain this. They have something called the Companion Pass. And if you achieve 110,000 miles in 1 calendar year, they will give you a certificate where you can fly with a companion for absolutely free. So if you look down here in the picture, you can see earn your next companion pass. Currently, Emily and I are at almost 99,000 points this year. So we are only 11,000 points away from achieving this, and we will have the companion pass again for an entire year. I cannot explain to you how many places we've flown to, and we just pay for one person, and I get to go along with her for free. So we go to Mexico multiple times. We've gone all over the US, and it's 2 for 1. You can't really beat this deal. I can go in detail more about how to get those 110,000 points. It's not an easy feat. This is more advanced, but just so you know, there's so many deals out there that make all of this travel completely affordable. Now, there's other cards out there. I just wanted to give you the basic 3. Okay, this is the freshman 101 information. You guys, Delta, Lufthansa is a German carrier. We've used Lufthansa to get to Europe before. Alaska and Frontier actually have great flights to get to Alaska, if you can imagine. And we've used British Airways many times. We actually use British Airways to get to Hawaii. It's very inexpensive to use British Airways points to get to those islands. Now, next, let's push on past these travel as airline cards. There are also hotel reward cards. And again, I'm going to give you 3 very, very basic examples that we have used in the past here. The City Hilton card. Now this reserve card here, check out the bonus. It's a little bit different. They don't just give you points like the airline companies. This card, you actually earn 2 free weekend nights at any Hilton hotel after you spend $2,500 in 4 months. So you have a pretty good amount of time to hit that spending quota. The perks, you get gold status, which includes free breakfast at almost every single hotel, which saves you money even more. And then all of that money that you spend on the card, you still earn those Hilton points. All right, and those points can be redeemed for other nights. So again, this perk is really cool because you can get any Hilton hotel in the world, and if you're really smart about it, you can really use this to your advantage to save some money. The annual fee will be $95. They're not going to waive this for you for the first year, but again, $95 for 2 nights anywhere is really big savings. When you go look at the Hilton chart, you can see they have Category 1, which is more of their basic hotels. The locations aren't going to be great, all the way up to their Category 10, which is the pristine. It is going to be, you know, the Waldorf Astorias. It's going to be the Conrad hotels. These are top-of-the-line exclusive hotels that require a lot of points. So there's a lot of variety where you can use your points, and you can stay at a lot of locations. So to kind of give you an example, we want to show you what we've done here.
So when Rick's talking about those 2 free weekend nights anywhere, we decided to be really strategic. So when we went to Asia, Southeast Asia last winter, we went to an island in Thailand called Koh Samui. And in Koh Samui, there is a Conrad property. It is a Category 10. Category 10, so that top of the line one. And you can see behind us here, all of those individual buildings that you see on the hill are the individual rooms of the hotel. It's built into the cliffside. We had a huge room with our own private infinity pool. We had a private snorkel tour. It was unreal. I've never experienced anything like that in my life. To get anywhere on the property, we had to call the front desk because a golf cart drives you from place to place. So, I mean, in the grand scheme, it cost us $95 to stay for 2 nights at this incredible property, one of the best values I think anyone will find.
And to give you a little idea, if you booked this room with cash, it would have cost you around $800 a night. So we got free breakfast and free nights. So we're really looking at a savings of coming around $1,800 just by signing up for this card and spending that money. This is definitely one of those surreal experiences where I felt completely out of place, but it was so worth it. Again, let's continue on. We have other examples besides just the Hilton. We have the Hyatt card. Actually, both signed up for this card in the past, and you see the bonus is the same thing. 2 free nights at any Hyatt hotel after you spend $1,000. Again, the perks you get. This was actually really great. You get a platinum membership automatically. You get upgrades. And then each year you keep the card, they give you another free night. So they keep giving you these free nights just to hang on to it. You'll earn points just like the Hyatt with every purchase. And the annual fee is $75, so it's actually less. And they actually waive the first year. So if you really like Hyatt properties, it's the same deal. The annual fee is less, and they give you the first year free. And you can use these 2 nights anywhere you want in the world that Hyatt has a property. So same idea as Hilton here. You see they have categories 1 to 7. You use the points based on where you want to stay as you earn them. But again, with those 2 free nights, just for signing up for the card, of course, we're going to explain how we use them to our benefit right here. And here's some stuff that we did.
So the top 2 pictures are from the Hyatt Ziva, which is in Cabo San Lucas. That was our Labor Day trip for our anniversary last year. And the greatest thing about this is it's an all-inclusive resort. So we were able to use our 2 free weekend nights for an all-inclusive resort, which is hotel, food, drinks, anything and everything we could have wanted. Great value. Just to give you an idea, per night there probably would have been about $500 to stay at the hotel. The bottom 3 photos are from when we stayed at the Hyatt Regency on Maui. We used our nights there as well when we went on that trip for spring break. And those nights would have cost us probably $400 each to stay at such a beautiful property in Lahaina.
So again, I think you guys are kind of getting the idea here, but I want to continue just with one other example so we can kind of make a well-rounded experience here. But this is a card that's actually a little more unheard of. I think it doesn't carry a big name like the others, but it's an American Express card, and it's the SPG, the Starwood Preferred Guest Program. And their sign-up bonus, this is where they actually do points. They don't just give you nights to stay at. You earn points. You earn 25,000 points after you spend $3,000. All right, so it's a little bit higher to spend. Typically, American Express does that. but I mean, it's fine. I mean, you can meet that spending as long as you're really smart about it. They give you free internet at the hotels when you stay here with this card, which is awesome. Surprisingly, they still make you pay for Wi-Fi at these locations. I don't know why. But the annual fee, $95. First year is going to be free. Now, since we actually only earn points here, we got to talk about their chart because they have, again, categories where, up really down to 2,000 points a night. So there's a lot of really great hotels that are in category 1. So you can really earn almost 2 weeks of a vacation just with this card. The category 7s are like the St. Regis hotels, and they're really, really nice. But I don't ever really want to use that many points for one night at a place like that. So we're going to show you actually a couple hotels we found in a category 1 that were only 2,000 points a night.
So people often say that these are sort of the best bang for your buck properties that SPG offers. The top 2 photos are from the Le Méridien in Siem Reap, Cambodia. And we went there when we went to see Angkor Wat, and you can clearly see it's just a gorgeous, beautiful hotel, and it was only 2,000 points a night. On the bottom was the Le Méridien in Chiang Mai. Again, 2,000 points a night. And so if we're talking about that sign-up bonus of 25,000 points, that's almost a week that you could stay in either one of these properties to go on vacation. It was beautiful. I'm sorry, 2 weeks. I apologize. 2 weeks that you could go and stay in one of these hotels. They're beautiful, great accommodations, and we really enjoyed both.
So again, these are just 3 basic level cards. There's another one called the Club Carlson card, which is actually the Radisson properties. We used to use it exclusively throughout Europe. If you look at our blog, we stay at Radisson's quite often because of that card. The IHG properties, which are going to be your Holiday Inns and some other higher-end properties. Wyndham and Marriott we've heard of. So there's plenty of options available to use these points. And another little perk, this is really cool too, when you use points for hotels, you pay $0 in taxes. With the airline points, you still have to pay those taxes and fees that the government makes you cover. But with these, it's just use your points. There's nothing to settle up at the end of the day. It's just free. So moving on, I know we've hit so much already.
Hey, Rick.
But this is, oh, hey.
Can we address some of the questions that have come in related to this batch of cards that you've talked about? Is that okay?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. We can just stop me anytime. Let's talk about it.
Okay. So one of the questions is, do you cancel the cards after the first year? The fees can add up.
We actually have that worked in, and it's about maybe 3 or 4 slides away. We're definitely going to hit that and talk to you about that.
Okay, good. And then one of them was, and you may not want to answer the whole thing, but one is how many credit cards do you have? And then how does it affect your credit rating? So that part you might want to answer.
All perfect questions, and I literally, every single question that was just asked, I have on a slide coming up really soon.
And thanks for your questions, everyone.
Sorry, we're almost there.
You discuss commercial cards or commercial use for cards, like the business ones?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And then somebody is interested in actually hearing about the companion passes and how you got to get to that. So maybe that's at the end or something.
Well, I could just say quickly for that companion pass, if you look at the Southwest card, you can get 50,000 points for a sign-up bonus. So you already got 50,000 along the way to the 110. Here's this is a little more advanced, but it's a trick you can do. You can also sign up for a business card at the same time. A lot of people have had success with doing that. So if you can get approved for the personal and business, that's going to be 100,000 points right there. And then remember, you have to spend $2,000 on the card to get those points. So if you add 2,000 per card, that's going to equal 104,000 points. Now you're only $6,000 of spending away from getting the 110,000. And once you hit that 110, you've achieved the companion pass for the rest of that year and the next calendar year. I know that's a ton of numbers, and math is not everybody's strong suit, but that's kind of the easiest way I can explain it here.
Okay, thank you. And that's all for right now. I know a couple more questions that have come in I know you're going to get to.
Okay, perfect. Um, so the last category I want to talk about is actually my favorite category because I did not even know this existed before. But there are credit cards that can reimburse your spending on travel. And I want to talk about the first one here. You've probably seen maybe commercials on this. I think
Alec Baldwin. Everybody
yeah,
knows.
Alec Baldwin. I mean, name a celebrity who they hire. The venture card. And you see it on TV and sometimes you don't understand it. But the venture card is going to give you 40,000 points on sign up. And you're going to spend $3,000 here to get these points. Here's the perk. You actually get 2 points per dollar in every purchase. So for that $3,000 you spend, you'll actually get 6,000 points. So now you're sitting at 46,000 points just for getting your bonus here. So with these 46,000 points, I'm kind of explain in a second what you're going to do with this. The annual fee is $59. First year is free. Now this is going to be the same idea. The Barclay Company, which is every time we call them, they think it's absolutely hilarious because we share the last name of the company. They have a card called the Arrival, and it's the same idea. 40,000 points, double points on all your purchases, and the annual fee is a little bit more, and the first year is free. So these are two examples of cards. All right. Now I'm going to explain how you can reimburse yourself, and this is so much fun right here. The points that you earn allow you to reimburse yourself for a variety of expenses. If you want to, any of these categories, airlines, hotels, I'm not going to read them all because you guys can see them, but trains, taxis, travel agencies, websites. I have used both of these cards many times. Just in Greece over the summer, I rented a car when we were in Crete, and it cost $250 to rent that car. Well, if you see on the list here, you can actually reimburse yourself for that car rental using 25,000 points. So again, you've earned 40,000 just from the sign-up bonus. So you're just tapping into that free money you've had to rent off that car rental. And actually, this weekend, Emily and I, we're going to Portland, and we're staying at Airbnb, our favorite place to find cheap locations to sleep. And it was $199 for those 2 nights. And we are actually writing off, again, 19,900 points. We are giving that money basically right back to ourselves using these points. And this is a way that you can make travel even more affordable by writing off all those little things that kind of add up that just make the trip more expensive than you planned on being. So this is the big slide. I'm sure everybody has some of these questions. It's okay to feel nervous. We were incredibly nervous when we got into this journey about 3 years ago because it was unknown. So most questions I get from people, will this impact my credit score? The answer is yes, but actually in a positive way. When I started this, my credit score, just because I'm younger, I'm starting out, I still have some student loan debt, I was in the lower 700s. And I can say now, 3 years later, through all of these credit cards that we're talking about, I am now in the high 700s, just about to hit 800. So I'm pretty excited about that my credit score has actually improved. Now, I got to say there is risk because we pay our credit cards off every single month. We never carry a balance. I have never carried a balance in my entire life. So my score is not being impacted. So I cannot speak to if you want to carry a balance, yes, it could impact your credit score here. One of the questions that Sam said was, how many cards can I have? You can really have as many cards as you want. At some point, I'm sure if you hit too much, a credit card company will tell you no more, but really I haven't had that experience yet. I can tell you right now that I currently have about 15 cards right now currently open in my name. And again, with my credit score, it's gone up, up, and up all of the time. Another question I hear all the time is, how many cards can I apply for? You want to be smart about this, and typically I have followed a pattern of applying for, sometimes it's been 2 cards, 3 cards, but every 3 to 5 months. And this has been consistent for 3 years now that, Emily and I have taken turns. We both have our own credit card accounts. And, you know, really the rules say every 91 days you can apply for more. And, but again, that's at your own comfort level. I'm not sitting here advocating that you go out and go crazy on this stuff. But the rules are there, and you follow them, and you can apply for a lot of cards. And then the last question I heard from Sam as well is, should I cancel or keep the card? When should I cancel the card? This is really going to be up to you. Some cards I choose to keep because I really enjoy the benefits of the card. And, it allows me to get into the lounges, and I can get boarded earlier. And some cards I do cancel, and I always wait till about the 11th month of opening the card to cancel it. If you cancel it too early, it could have a more negative hit on your credit score. So you want to keep it open longer. Usually when you see that annual fee hit, you can call in and cancel the card. And it's a really, really easy process. And that's going to be up to you. I do want to throw one thing in here that I learned actually a year and a half ago, which is actually fascinating. If you call into the companies and tell them that you want to cancel because you think the annual fee is too much, they have these little special bonuses that are programmed into your account to try to get you to keep the card. So many times I've actually kept these cards open because they just said they will waive the fee. So I have a couple cards that are 3 years old that I've actually never paid a fee on because they just want to keep my business. Or they'll try to say, we'll give you a lot of miles. If we give you 10,000 miles, will you keep the card open? Yeah, sometimes I say yes. Sometimes I say, no thanks, I'm not really interested anymore. So Sam, I answered some of the questions here. Does this kind of hit some of the big ones that we've had, or are there any furthers that I can elaborate on?
I have one while we're waiting. So what happens if you cancel a card and you haven't used the points yet?
That's a good question, and that's going to be different for different companies. If you look at the airline cards, you can cancel that card, but your points still stay in your account because the miles are in your United account. So they will not disappear. But if you look at those travel reimbursement cards, those points are with that company exactly. So if you cancel the Barclay arrival card, those points will actually disappear, and you'll lose out on that. So it's different. It's card by card, gives you different scenarios here.
Okay, will closing the credit card impact your credit score? Like if it's a little bit early?
Closing, if it's really early, it could have a slight impact on the score. But as I have tracked credit score, every time I've opened a card or a batch of cards, my score's gone down around 3 to 5 points. And then over about 11 to 12 months of being a good
Customer.
A good customer, that's a good way to say it, my score has actually gone up anywhere from 8 to 9 points. Mm-hmm. And then when you close it, it doesn't really impact your score that much. So with being a good customer over a year or 2 years, you're actually going to get more impact or more positive impact than negative impact from just opening and closing the card.
Okay. Here's a question, and I'm not sure I actually understand it all the way, but this is what she typed. Do you open separate accounts for each card, or are you authorized users on each other's accounts?
We actually have separate accounts because it's better to use that if you're a team, you want to get the bonuses separately. So if we create, if we're joint on that United card, we can only get that bonus once.
Right.
But if you create separate accounts, Emily can get that 50,000 bonus, and I can get that 50,000 bonus, which is what you want if you're going to be team travelers, which is what we are.
We like to double dip.
Yep. Here's a question. Is it possible to cancel a card and then reapply for it for the rewards after a few months or years?
That is a great question, and I will give you the answer that it is right now, but understand that this has actually changed many times over. With Chase specifically, 2 years after you get the first sign-up bonus, you are eligible to get it again. So again, you can open that Southwest card, get the 50,000 points, hold on to it for a year, cancel it, wait another year, and then you are eligible to apply again. And if they accept you, you'll get those 50,000 again. And that's only for Chase. American Express has very recently become very strict on that, because I'm sure there's people doing what I'm talking about, but they only allow you to get the sign-up bonus one time.
Okay. And then do you have any tips for keeping track of all your cards? Do you put some aside for a while you're focusing and racking up the use on the others?
Yes, absolutely. I will just say that I am a hyper organizer of all of this material. I keep track of all my spending, and our spending, I should say, on every credit card. So I have many Google spreadsheets, probably about 4 or 5 of them, that keep track of every single thing we have. And then there is also a website that I could share with you here, and I'll share it in a little bit here, but it keeps track of all of my frequent flyer points. And it was a free program, and it just kind of tells you, with every hotel, every travel reimbursement, and every airline company, what you currently have right now.
Okay.
I'm actually going to pull that up so that you guys can see it.
So they can see the screen right here?
Yeah.
So this is a program called Award Wallet. And you can register, and there's a paid version and a free version, and I just use the free version. But when you register, this can keep track of all your reward programs to give you a better idea of what you have.
Do you want to show them? Okay. Not right now. Anything else?
Nope, that's good. I think there's a couple more that you're going to touch on later.
Okay. So we also wanted to include like our top 5 travel tips, things that we have found that make things more affordable, a little more logistically simple. Just know that I'm going to talk to you about these things, but Rick is really a great planner, and I'm very lucky that he handles everything from airport transfers to logistics, all of those things. So these are the things that we have found that are really great. We love Airbnb. So many of you have probably heard of vacation rentals by owner, or VRBO, and Airbnb is sort of the new age, more social way to do a vacation rental. So basically a social network for vacation rentals. And people always ask, like, oh, have you used it internationally? What do you think about that? Well, we've used it all over the world with great success. We have never had a bad experience with Airbnb. It's user-based with reviews and references, so you can see what other people have said about staying at a particular property. You can see what travelers' friends say about them. They can request a reference from you. And you can sort by the cost, the location, and the type of accommodation that you would like. So if you know where you want to stay, you can search by that. If you know, I don't want to spend more than $60 a night, you can sort by that. You can also stay in an entire property to yourself. You can be in just a room within someone's home, and those are all the things available for you on Airbnb. If you want a $25 credit towards your first stay on Airbnb, you can email us, and I will send you a coupon code for that. And our email address is coming up a little bit later, so just put that in the back of your mind.
And the best part, you can write this off with your travel reimbursement card. So you sign up for one of those cards, you purchase your Airbnb stay, you get the $25 off, and then the rest of it you can write off, and you can stay for free if you're really interested in that.
Hotels.com is another great one for your travel reimbursement card. If you make a booking on there, it's something that you can write off using your points. Another thing to note is this little thing in the pink on the bottom. If you stay for 10 nights on hotels that you've booked through Hotels.com, you get 1 free. So you're getting even more things free because you're reimbursing yourself with your points, and then stay 10 nights, get 1 free. Hotels.com is great. Another one that we always advise people is when you are searching for airline flights, particularly airline flights, I would say, those companies will track your history. They will inflate the prices on flights that you're looking for because they can see what you've looked for on the internet before. Your search history is available to them. So I'm going to teach you how to make an incognito window. This is a way that the airline companies won't be able to track your search history. They can't see what you've been looking at previously. It's kind of like how whenever you're noodling around on the internet and then there are ads on Facebook that pop up based on things you've been looking at, it's because all of that is cached in your memory. So if you're doing an incognito window, it's not saving that information. So here in Chrome, most are the same. You can do a new incognito window. And you'll see there's a little spy guy who says, you've gone incognito. So there's really no history here. So when I go to United, now I can search, and I won't get inflated flight prices. I'll actually get cheap flights. We've had this happen before where we've been looking at something together, and I've searched with an incognito window, and Rick has not. And he has seen flights that are more expensive than I have seen. One of our biggest tips is to make sure that you're booking early, especially when you're booking with points. You really want to be punctual about when you're booking. Airlines only allow a certain number of seats per plane to be award travel seats. So maybe 5 seats are allowed to be bought with points. This is, in fact, why there have been occasions where we don't travel together coming home from a trip because we haven't been able to get 2 award travel seats on the same flight. Typically, flights open up for reservations about 330 days in advance. We're talking about 11 months usually. And then this is something that I read when we were coming home from New York, and I thought it was so perfect. Travel is only expensive when it's most convenient. So when you're choosing the dates that are most convenient for you, which are typically weekends and holidays, if you have flexible dates and plans, you will totally save money. So if you're not set to a specific schedule, you're going to get better deals. This is a brand new one that my dad actually taught me about. This is the Hopper app, and there are a few screenshots of my phone here. Hopper allows you to put in flights that you're interested, trips that you're interested in. So just for fun, I did Los Angeles to Johannesburg, and you can choose the dates that you're interested in traveling, and it will watch that flight route for you and let you know when you should buy the trip. So if you're going to pay cash, it will help you figure out when it is the best time to buy that flight. It'll send you an alert too to let you know, hey, you should buy it now. Or you can see right there, it tells me that I should wait for a better price. And you can also be tracking more than one flight at a time. So we worked really hard to obviously gain all of this information. Like I said, Rick is sort of this master of research. He spends multiple hours a day and many, many hours on the weekends doing a lot of research about all of this. We are absolutely available to help you. We offer packages for private consultations. If you have questions or you need more help, we would love to help you out. We are available to help you book a trip. We've traveled lots of places. We've experienced a lot of things. We can help you create an itinerary, make reservations, book those plane flights and the hotels, let you know which neighborhoods you want to be staying at. You can let us know if you are interested in that. Say you have all of these credit card miles. You've been racking them up and you're not really sure what to do with them. We can help you figure out how to use those miles to your advantage. We can help you make a plan for, what the best flights are, the best times of year, anything that can help you use your miles in a better way. And then finally, say okay, my dream trip is to go to the Amalfi Coast in Italy. I don't really know how to get there. Where should I start? We can help you figure out which credit cards maybe you should think about applying for, which companies you want to be booking travel with. Those are things that we are available to help with. If that is something you're interested in, and you email us in the next 48 hours, you can get a 25% discount on a package of your choice. Our email is here. We just opened this one up, and we'll both be responding to emails on this one. It's readventurestravel@gmail.com. You can also email us there if you want the $25 Airbnb credit. That's $25 off your first stay at Airbnb. Doesn't cost you anything. You just have to sign up. If you have not seen our blog before, our blog is a-veg-life.blogspot.com, and we chronicle all of our travels there. And we've even taken to explaining, how we got to the specific places we got to. So this summer we did a series of posts that detailed the points and the miles and the dollars to get us to the various destinations that we went in Europe when we were there for about 5 weeks over the summer. So at this point, I think that's the vast majority of our spiel. So if there's anyone who has questions, we are happy to take them now.
Okay, so I have some more. Do you know, are there blackout dates for hotel bookings? Have you found that?
Blackout dates, a lot of that's going to depend on two things. Obviously, if it's a huge holiday, some really high-end, more prestigious hotels could have some blackout dates. And I'll say this, the only place I've ever been hindered by was I was looking at a vacation in Bora Bora, and if you've ever seen those beautiful
Overwater bungalows.
the bungalows over water, those things book so quickly that in my 3 years has been the only experience where I haven't been able to use my points because so many people are trying to get that because it's such a luxurious experience. Other than that, I've never had an issue, but I know they do exist out there.
And the other answer to that is, you've probably heard it on the Capital One commercial, is they're talking about no blackout dates, no dates that you can't fly. By using your travel reimbursement card to make a hotel reservation, there's no blackout date.
Okay, here's another question. They're kind of random, but I'm just going to go down the list. I'm curious whether the plethora of cards increases your risk for identity theft, and whether you've ever had identity theft. This person did. It's Diane, and put a freeze. And they put a freeze on their credit card, and they're nervous about releasing that in order to get more credit cards.
Again, I've never had issues with identity theft. I think because I'm very active in maintaining and checking all of these quickly. And personally, in my experience, with anything that's maybe gone slightly wrong with these credit card companies, they have been showed overwhelming support to have anything fixed or any issues resolved. So I think as long as you're you're actively watching this card, there should never really be an issue.
Let's knock on wood for that.
Yeah. I say that now.
Yep. Have you ever used the wrong card for a purchase where the deal wasn't maximized? And if so, is there a way to remedy that once you've realized it?
Do you mean like wrong, like I've used the wrong miles, or I guess I want to.
Well, or maybe you meant to put it on like your Barclay card or your Capital One card, and you put it on your Chase Freedom instead or something.
Oh, I mean, at that point, it's going to be, if it's an issue you can alleviate, you can return the purchase at the store and buy it, with the other card if you really need to. I've never really had that issue per se. I hope that we don't have direct feedback right here. So.
Yep. And nothing like on any of your flights or any of that kind of stuff, you've never had a problem?
No, never had a problem with that, no. A lot of times, the really nice thing with points, too, is that if you need to change your travel, it actually is, some companies don't even charge you to cancel or change, which is great because if you used money, they would. Or if some airlines do actually charge you a very small amount. So by using miles, you actually negate a lot of those change fees that could come by using cash.
Okay, here's one. My husband has a Delta Sky Miles number, and I have a separate one. Can we use each other's miles?
In terms of if you are a married couple?
Yes.
Yeah, usually most companies allow it as long as you have evidence and proof that you're at the same residence. You should be able to transfer miles between for a free cost. Some programs allow you to transfer miles to if it's not your spouse, but it could cost just a little bit of money. But for spouses, usually all programs will allow that to happen.
Okay. Here's a question from Laura. For flights, do you find it's typically cheaper to use booking websites like Expedia or to use the airline's website?
Sorry, you're talking about for flights?
For flights, yeah.
Oh, yeah, for flights, I've always found that using those travel websites has been cheaper.
Yep. I kind of feel like mostly you don't have to use them because you're using miles and things too.
Yeah, I mean, I very rarely have purchased flights with cash in the past couple of years.
Yep.
Um, but the few that I have, I do use those travel websites to save money.
Brianna wants to know if you have Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter.
Uh, Emily has all of the above.
Yep. So
Do-
if you want to follow us, mostly me, my handle is at efetcho, EFETCHO. My Twitter handle is at Emily Fetcho. And then Facebook, I am Emily Fetcho Barclay. But you have to have a friend in common with me. So you could always send me an email and then I could friend you. I get a little nervous about my privacy settings on the Facebook. And then obviously our blog was here.
Do you know if hotels charge more points during peak times, or is a certain property always going to be the X number or set number of points?
Only the really high-end hotels will have increased points during peak times. You know, your St. Regis hotels, um, but that's really about it. Very rarely do they change it. It's usually just this is a category, this is how many points it takes.
Yep. Okay. Do you know why some companies offer out to the customer to buy points or miles? What would be the benefits of that?
Um, you can buy miles from these organizations. Usually, the people buying miles from United are the ones that, say you have 58,000 points right now, and you need 60 just to book that award flight. And you know it's there for you, and you want to make sure that you can get it before someone else. You will then buy those 2,000 miles from United. It will cost you around $64, $65. But that ensures that you'll get that 60,000 points right away, and you can book that award travel seat. And that's typically who buys those. They're not really good purchases.
Here's Lisa wrote in just a word of encouragement to the two of you. The Overwater Bungalow in Bora Bora is totally worth it. And she sends her love. Emily, you know who this is.
Yeah.
Here's a question I'm not sure if you're going to know the answer to this one. Do you know if there's any hope in this couple, this woman and probably her husband, getting about 300,000 miles reinstated that we accidentally let expire after Continental and United merged their rewards programs?
Oh man, that's going to be really tough just because again that the merger happened such a long time ago. Um, I will say that my wife here is very talented at talking to people on the phone and getting what she wants. Um, but you can really try to be persistent with them. I bet if you really make a big stink about it, they could probably maybe give you partial credit of that stuff, but I really, really doubt at this time that you're going to be able to recoup all of those miles.
My most successful endeavors in complaining have been on social media, primarily Twitter. That's actually like when I finally found Twitter's purpose was when I realized that I could use it to express my displeasure to companies. So getting on Twitter and tweeting to these people about how disappointed I am or bad customer service, that really works out. And then if you're calling into customer service, just repeatedly asking for a supervisor. Just making sure that you're kind of getting to the top of the totem pole to someone whom you really think can make a difference with your problem.
Okay. What card would you recommend for a college grad that wants to travel? I'm assuming a new grad, like a younger person.
Yeah, I mean, I told you kind of like right now, my favorite card is just going to be the basic, the City American card we talked about. I think again, wait for those bonuses to be 50,000 points because you're already going to be really close to say 60,000 for Europe. And if you, like I said, if you want to go in the winter, it could be even cheaper. But that's up to you. I really say stick with the United or stick with the American basic card right now for traveling, especially if you want to travel overseas as a new, recently graduated student.
Um, all right. Anybody else have any questions? Go ahead and type them in.
We are here to help.
All right. Can Rick please organize my life?
That's what we're here for. If you want our help, I mean, shameless promotion, right? We're here to offer our assistance to you. He clearly is the expert. He's done a lot of research. There'll be times on a Saturday I'll leave and I'll find him in the same spot multiple hours later. But that's why, he books such amazing vacations for us, and he and I are here to help you. So we can do that for you.
Here's a question from Carissa. As you two aim to travel only during the off seasons, does that negatively impact your tourist experience or traveling experience as well?
I would say absolutely not. It kind of depends on what your expectations are. For instance, I spoke earlier about, we're going to go to Europe this winter.